everyone, back here on a special Wednesday night live stream. I'm here. I'm Grant, aka the BINBUSTER. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching tonight. And tonight, we're talking about my top 10 war movies. We're celebrating Veterans Day since it was this past Monday. So, to all my friends and family or veterans out there, thank you for your service. And this episode's for you guys. So, before I get into this, let's see who's here. And as always, remember, that's our pinned comment for tonight. Welcome. I would like to know what your favorite war movies are. So comment down below for you guys. I want to know what your favorite war movies are. And we have Hunter here tonight. He's saying evening to everyone. And he goes, hold on while I smash this like button. There we go. All set now. Thanks, man. Yeah, like you said, smash that like button and do all that fun stuff. Also, with this QR code right here, if you're watching on TV, this QR code, you take it on to your phone and scan it, you can actually get right here to the channel live. Whenever I do a live, whenever I do anything else on this channel, ladies and gentlemen, it will trigger and you hit that bell notification. And anytime I drop a video, I do this. I just want to say thank you for everyone who's watched my last video that I did during Assembled Week. That was a lot of fun getting back out there and thrifting again. So I enjoyed that video. I know I've gotten a lot of feedback from people who've said they've enjoyed that video. So I might be doing more of that soon. And the lives will be changing up a little bit, but that's for another stream. I'm just thinking about changing up the way I do lives too. So without that, let's go into our war films, folks. Because right now I want to talk about my number. This is my personal list, so this is not a definitive top 10 list. I will say this is my list of my favorite top 10 war movies. And I put a criteria on myself. I did not include Schindler's List. I did not include what is that? Hunt for Red October. I did not include Captain America or Wonder Woman. Yes, they deal with war, but they're not. They weren't ones that I was looking for my criteria on this list. I'm looking for stuff that actually is about wars, real wars that have really happened, that are real people. And not saying Schindler's List is fake, but Schindler's List is real. It takes place during the World War II, but it doesn't take. It's not about any battles. It's about the war fought of saving Jewish lives. So it's a kind of a war, but it's a metaphor of a war. It takes place during a war. I didn't want to include that. I wanted to do battles and stuff like that. So here we go. Hunter is saying Dune is my favorite war movie, not set on Earth. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. That's technically a war movie. On Earth would probably be Live, Die, Repeat. Okay, so the Tomorrow War, I believe that's also called, or the War of Tomorrow. Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about, Hunter. If you were thinking space, my war one would have to be not of this Earth. I would have to say Star Wars. Empire. Empire Strikes Back. Yes, Empire Strikes Back. If we weren't talking about Earth Hunter, but on Earth, all these ones here take place on Earth, so don't worry about that. My screen's right here in front of me where my notes are. If you guys see me looking over here, that means I'm reading the chat for you guys. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, my number 10 is a movie that's near and dear to my heart. The reason why is because this takes place over one battle, and it's a 4-hour long movie. You guys thought, Lord of the Rings was long. You guys thought Zack Snyder's Justice League cut was long. No, this is a long movie. I'm talking about Gettysburg. That's right. Number 10 is 1993's Gettysburg. The reason I put this on here is because D-Ray's here saying, hey, Hunter. The reason I put this on here was because this is the movie that sparked my love of the Civil War, to study it, to learn about it, and everything like that. That, like William Sherman, March to Atlanta, my brother doing a project on one of my ancestors who up north burned down Confederate stronghold. and got a Congressional Medal of Honor during Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. So, but this is about Gettysburg. This triggered all that chain reaction. Edge of Tomorrow. That's right. Edge of Tomorrow. I was like, it was the Tomorrow War or the War of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow. That's right, Hunter. Thank you. So you see, Gettysburg for me was one of those movies that meant something. That it got me down a road of learning about the foundations of this country. Yeah, you'd be like, but we were in 1776. I understand that. But this was a big war that split brothers against brothers, families against families. It's the Civil War, folks. And there's been nothing like this since, or nothing will be like this since here on American soil. So, Gettysburg, about the famous Battle of Gettysburg. Most war movies use battle as a backdrop to little human dramas. We learn of private lives of the soldiers, their loves and fears. Personalities are sketched, weaknesses revealed, rivalries established. Well, that's all that will all be said under fire. Then we get the action scenes of stuff like that. But Gettysburg avoids all those war movie cliches. This is a film pure and simple about the Battle of Gettysburg in the summer of 1863, about the strategies, calculations, mistakes, heroism that turned the tide of the Civil War and decisively against the South. The movie is 4 hours long, and every minute's devoted to either the battle itself or the planning and preparation for battle. Typical evil battle romances is so far from the minds of the filmmakers that there's not a single woman in the cast. Yes, I gotta put this on there. This is why I said this is a long 4 hour movie, because it's them prepping for battle, and then you get the battle, and then you get the other side's stuff like that. So it's all happening at once. Behind Enemy Lines is when I always wonder why it was such low scores. Yeah. I don't know why. Honestly, D-Ray, I have no idea. And for all of you who have just recently joined us, here's the pin post right now. I would love to know what your favorite war movies are. So that's our pin post for tonight. So, number 9. Number 9 is a little controversial in this topic because no one ever talks about this movie. I didn't expect Gettysburg, but good first choice. Yeah, like I can honestly say, D-Ray, that's the reason why I chose it. Was what I said is because it was the movie that sparked my love for the Civil War and my wanting to learn about that, being the one war that I wanted to learn about. Anything. Agree. Great flick. And number 9 is one that is not usually on many people's lists of war movies. Trust me, when after I did my list, I looked at a bunch of other lists. The Tillman Story. That's right. This is a documentary about the former Arizona Cardinal, Pat Tillman, Arizona Cardinal linebacker Pat Tillman, and how about his time in Afghanistan as part of the army. Spicy 4K actually says, "We Were Soldiers" is one I will always enjoy, and has some brutal action scenes. That is a good one, man. Thanks for sharing. That is a very good one. So number 9 is The Tillman Story, a powerful documentary that exposes the truth behind the death of NFL player Pat Tillman, who was killed by friendly fire in Afghanistan, and how the military attempted to cover up the incident, portraying his death as a heroic sacrifice for propaganda purposes. The film is particularly impactful to the deeply personal perspective of Tillman's family as they fight to uncover the truth about his death. The reason I chose this is because, one, I'm a football fan. I've played football for 6 years at high school and college. So I know what a linebacker does. I know the strenuous workout they do. And Pat Tillman, there's a Pat Tillman Award for courage in the NFL, named after him. And this guy left a lucrative career in the NFL. He was a pretty good linebacker, I should say. Left a lucrative career in the NFL to go serve his country because he felt it was the most important thing for him to do. I got to respect him for that. We all got to respect him for that. I don't know of anyone who would give up a lucrative career like that to serve their country. This documentary primarily follows Pat Tillman's mother, Mary. She investigates the circumstances surrounding her son's death, highlighting the frustration and determination of the family to uncover the truth. The film challenges the idealized image of Tillman as a perfect soldier, revealing his complex personality, questioning the military's use of story for propaganda. The Tillman story is highly critical of the Army's attempts to conceal the truth about Tillman's death by friendly fire. I'm not getting political with this stream tonight, or with even with this one. This one right here with the Tillman story is one of those things for me that is a touchy subject. I understand friendly fire does happen on accident half the time. Half more than 99% of the time, friendly fire happens. I'm not gonna get political about all this or anything like that out as well. But this is a tragic story. And it's actually available online now, folks, for you to guess. There's no physical release of this. Sorry, guys. D-Ray is saying, can the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies count? There's a bunch of large scale. If I was going to do fantasy wars, yes, I could do a fantasy. Hunter gave me his best. He gave me Dune as an off-world one, so we'll call this an off-Earth one. D-Ray, where's on Earth? D-Ray, not Middle Earth. Wow, wow, arguing already, guys. All right, number 8. My number 8 story, or my number 8 movie is this one right here, Blackhawk Down from 2001. This account of the ill-fated 1993 raid on Mogadishu that left 19 American soldiers dead is the story of Blackhawk Down, folks. At least on the technical level, it's a remarkable achievement. One Ridley Scott brings the full force of his directorial skills to bear an often chaotic story with a sprawling cast of characters made up of virtually every up-and-coming male actor of the late 90s. And this film was released, you ready for this? The first winter after 9/11. So 9/11 is still fresh in people's minds. This movie comes out. That's why it's on my list right now. Because I remember 9/11 happening and then this movie coming out. And I'm like, oh, this is bad timing. Although at the time, it was not necessarily when it first was debuted and the trailers were coming out. It wasn't bad timing then. But after the events of 9/11, this was bad taste in the mouth. They should have moved it. It is a fantastic movie. The Patriots, another favorite of mine. That almost made my list. Spicy, that almost made my list. That's up there at number 11. I could include almost any Mel Gibson movie on here, but I didn't. It's not one I go back to all the time. If I'm in the mood for something about the American Revolution, yes, I'll go back and do that. Maybe even watch 1776, Born on the 4th of July, stuff like that. But none of those guys made the list, unfortunately, because like I said, this is my list, and Blackhawk Down is fantastic. It is. It's truly the way it was made. The actors are fantastic in it. In fact, I have the collector's edition DVD back there that's 2 discs that has interviews of people who actually survived Blackhawk Down. The Blu-ray, it's all in my Blu-ray case back there. I put it all together. That I got the 2-disc special edition of the DVD, and I got the Blu-ray. So I don't have the 4K yet, but once I get the 4K, it's going back. It's going back in the collection. It's going to be all together in a nice little set. I can't wait for it. I can't wait to get that one either. So let's see. Scott has never been associated with documentary-like realism, but here he uses his talent for capturing the intensity of a single moment to create a collection of fragments that cohere to a fully developed story. Criticized by some for glorifying combat, it has lately stated to seem more about the perils of believing American force alone can fix a troubled country. It's a remarkable true story on this one. Josh Hartnett. Why am I drawing blank with everyone? But it's a fantastic movie, folks. Number 7. I'm at number 7 right now, folks. So many good war films. It would be hard to make a top 10 list for me. It was hard. Hunter, I honestly gotta admit, this list was hard for me, but there's a reason why. These ones were my top 10 because they had something to do with my life in it as well, too. Number 7 is a story that got turned upside down. No, not really. Number 7 is going back to the Civil War with Glory. That's right, Glory from 1989. Glory is based on the true story of Colonel Robert Goldshaw, who ran the United States' first all-black segment during the Civil War. The film stars Matthew Broderick as Shaw, while Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, and Carrie Ells play 3 savvy soldiers in the regiment. At first, their group is underestimated and tasked with minuscule jobs, but they climb the ranks and fight for the spot on the front lines. Though Glory isn't exactly an exact retelling of facts, it showcases the strength of Black Americans who are willing to do anything for their freedom. That is D-Ray goes Fury, Blackhawk Down, Saving Private Ryan, Lone Survivor, Last of the Mohicans, 13 Hours, Hacksaw Ridge, Dunkirk, 1917 are some of his favorites. Hey, Tiana, how are we doing tonight? You love a good war movie? Then, Tiana, you know what you should do then? You should comment with what are your favorite war movies then if you love a good war movie. And honestly, guys, if you guys have never heard of some of these movies are great movies to watch and learn something from. The reason why I did, like I said with read the reason I did Glory here is like I said is because of the reason I said earlier with Gettysburg. Gettysburg got me diving into the Civil War. This was one of the first regiments I studied about. Was this regiment of northern Black Americans wanting to fight not only for their freedom because they were free, but freedom of their families or their friends that are down south. And like, yeah, they were underestimated, underutilized. And they said, put us on the front line. We want to fight for this. We believe in the freedom of all of our people. We believe in the freedom of our people. Put us on that front line. Let us fight for you guys. Such a great movie. Such a great story. The cast is fantastic. Like I said, Carrie Ells, Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, Matthew Broderick. Ooh, 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 ooh. I know this is one of D-Ray's favorites. He told me that much. But yeah, Glory. Well, like, it's a touching story about what people will do to fight for the freedoms that they want. This next one is also kind of... Glory was very good. Yes, that's right. The next one is kind of... I'll explain how this one ties into everything here in a moment. The Bridge over the River Kwai from 1957. Captured by British soldiers and forced to build a bridge for the Japanese army in World War II, David Lean uses the expanse frame of Cinescope, one of the lens and Cinescope, so one of the first movies to be lens and Cinescope. Expensive for a distance the viewer from its leads. An overtaxed Japanese commander, a high-minded British colonel with a pair of gruff American soldiers, one a scoundrel, the other a straight arrow. Each man fixates on the principles instilled by his nation so intensely that he can't recognize he's slipping into madness. Okay. The reason I put this here is because, for those of you that don't know, this wasn't filmed in Japan. No. The bridge over the River Kwai, that bridge that they blow up in this movie, is actually in Sri Lanka. In another Asian country. Yeah. I was there, and I wish I could find my picture, but it's on one of those old spin ones, so the picture quality is horrible. It's actually on photo paper, folks. But this one here is near and dear to me because that bridge was rebuilt in Sri Lanka. And they have a plaque there that says, the bridge over the River Kwai is the scene that they used to blow it up is this bridge. And I'm like, oh. And I go, that was cool. For me, that was cool. I've been to Sri Lanka, not for that reason, not to find this bridge, but to see that happen with William Holden, Alec Guinness, and Jack Hawkins, and then see the bridge in person. They're like, they try to make it look almost identical, but it's all steel now. D-Ray said, oh, I forgot about Thin Red Line. Also, I've never seen Bridge Over the River Kwai. I have to check it out next year's War Marathon. It's It can be dry at times, Tiana. It can be dry at times, but it's a fantastic movie. It's very fantastic. Number 5, folks. Number 5. Well, we're staying in this 50s, 60s era. Number 5 is The Dirty Dozen. That's right. With the noble exceptions like The Great Escape, but by the mid 60s, American World War II films had started to feel pretty square. Robert Aldrich's violent, high spirited The Dirty Dozen tapped into the spirit of the era, bringing in a remarkable cast: Charles Bronson, Jim Brown, John Cassavetes, Telly Savalas, and Donald Sutherland among them, to play a band of military convicts gathered by an OSS officer, played by Lee Marvin, to perform a dangerous behind enemy lines mission that led up to D-Day. Aldrich brings a light touch to the film's opening acts as the characters meet, take a dislike to one another, but bond as a team anyways. But the unsurprising final stretch leads to a sobering body count and some unfavorable acts of violence that look far from heroic. War can be a romp until the bloodshed starts. So, this movie right here, Dirty Dozen, great film. It is. Like I'm reminded, before I even saw this, I saw Hogan's Heroes. Before I saw this, I seen Hogan's Heroes. I'm like, so these guys are put together by an OSS operative. Yeah. Yeah, these guys are put together by an OSS operative. Yeah, OSS officer. And set to perform dangerous behind enemy lines missions. Kind of what the SEALs kind of do nowadays, or the Green Berets, stuff like that. So, or you guys want to know something? Let's put in something we all know more recently: the Suicide Squad. This movie right here is actually kind of like the Suicide Squad. That's what these guys were. It was a suicide mission for these guys. Great fun movie. Like you just want a great fun war movie. Check this one out. As well as my number 4 option. My number 4 is also another fun movie because I did mention Hogan's Heroes. This is the Great Escape from 1963. The idea to which many subsequent star-packed World War II films are inspired. Sturgis says The Great Escape fills a German POW camp with James Garner, Richard Attenborough, Charles Bronson, Donald Pleasance, James Coburn, and most memorable of all, Steve McQueen, as Allied prisoners determined to break out. Sounds a lot like Hogan's Heroes. Hogan's Heroes was played as a farce. It was played for laughs. This was actually a pretty good drama movie. And both were about prisoners of war in German POW camps that were trying to escape. Hogan's Heroes were every time they escaped the camp, they would come back in so their commandant wouldn't get in trouble. But the Great Escape here, each brings his own skills to an endeavor, which Sturgis shows in meticulous detail. So he shows that each one of these guys brings something to the table in this escape. Each one. I'm not going to tell you what they do. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. What kind of list would I be if I spoil stuff for you guys? McQueen embodied an anti-authoritarian spirit set to catch fire a few years later in the 60s. The film plays like a lighthearted heist film until a violent climax reminds us that we've been watching a war film all along. Why is look at their speed skating? I don't know. Maybe that's how they run back in the 60s. I don't know, Hunter. I honestly don't know. I'm not that old. I don't know how they ran in the 60s. But here's the thing. It this could also go under heist films too, folks. And I love me a good heist film. That's why it's on the list. Because it plays out like a heist film until the climax happens and you are reminded, oh, this is a war film. Okay. You think it's a heist film set to World War II in the German concentration camps and stuff like that, but it's not until you're reminded of that. Number 3. I'm staying in the 60s for number 3 right now. Number 3 is by far one of the best. John Wayne. John Wayne. War movies out there. Which one is it? Which one is it? I'll wait a little bit so you guys can hear this and kind of guys can kind of give me your guesses. What could my number 3 movie be that's a John Wayne war movie? Think about that. Let me know your comments. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reveal it in 3, 2, 1. That's right. The Longest Day. The Longest Day in 1962 is a war movie that tells the story of an Allied invasion of Normandy from the perspectives of the American, British, French, and German forces. The Longest Day, the Battle of Normandy, D-Day. Some say it's a classic that still holds up today, and others praise its use of practical effects and wide shots to capture the scale of the invasion. You guys want to know something? This is actually pretty impressive that they told 1, 2, 3, 4 different stories in this movie about different forces. I mean, this is crazy, you guys. Jerry, what's up? Not much, man. How you doing tonight? I'm just looking something up really quick. Hunter goes, Longest Day. I haven't seen that one. Yeah. Yeah. Let me get you a list right now of people in there. Give me 1 second. The Longest Day. I'm just bringing it up here right now, folks. Just giving you guys a quick little cast list for this movie because I forgot to write that down. Where is it? There we go. The True Hunter Steel books. Jerry, Tiana. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm getting the cast right now for you guys. Cast. Henry Grace, Alexander Knox, Arthur Hill, John Mel Ferrer, Edmund O'Brien, Henry Fonda, Robert Mitchum, Robert Ryan, John Crawford, Edie Albert, Bill Nagy, Fred Durr, Rod Steiger, Steve Forrest, Ray Dianton, Stuart Whitman, Tom Tryon, Gary Collins, Jeffrey Hunter, Tony Mordente, Bob Steele, Richard Bamer, Red Buns, Sel Mineo, Roddy McDowell, George Siegel, Robert Wagner, Paul Anka, Mark Damon, Fabian, Peter Helm, Tommy Sands, Joseph Lowe, Mickey Knox, Ron Randall, and John Wayne as the American soldiers. British ones, names you guys might know. Louis Mornier, Walter Horsburgh, Richard Todd. Yes, that whole slew of who's who. Richard Byrne, Henry Fowler, Bernard Fox, Frank Finley. Of French, probably no one here would know. Jean Servais, Yves Barrasque, Maurice Poy, Jean-Louis Barrault, George Wilson, Alice Tissot, and the German Wolfgang Luxke, Paul Hartman, Werner Hinz, Kurt Jurgens, Richard Munk, Carl John. Yeah, so Heinz Spitzer. So it's a lot. So they had a lot of different actors in here. Another movie I have to add to the list. Yeah, it focuses on multiple sides. Well, movie covers all major sides of the action using the original language and subtitles. Yes, I'm glad you have another one to put on here, Tiana, for you. The movie provides a detailed account of the invasion from the lead up to the operation itself. The movie uses explosives and men running through them without the use of any CGI. Yeah, the explosions, they were actually exploding them around these actors, and these actors were actually running through them. Wide shots and aerial views. The movies uses these techniques to show the scale of the operation. So when they do those wide shots, you see everyone running. Sounds like the longest cast of the longest day. The Longest Cast, isn't that a fishing movie? The movie stars John Wayne, Sean Connery, folks, Henry Fonda, Richard Byrne. The movie is based on the book by Cornelius Ryan, who was a war correspondent for the Daily Telegraph. Yeah, it's based on the book, The Longest Day. So, so right now we're getting to my top two. What are they? There's so many to choose from. Uh, I I want to know what you guys think my top two are. Uh, those of you listening, those of you watching, what is my top two? What are my top two? I just want to know this for you guys. What are my top two? One is a Mel Gibson movie, and the other one is a Clint Eastwood directed movie. Mel Gibson could be a whole slew of things for that. Hunter's like, Independence Day. It's a war movie. It's a war movie, but not on my list right now. And now if I was in sci-fi ones, yes. Yes, I would. I was going for more realism here, Hunter. Braveheart. Interesting. Interesting choice. Braveheart and Independence Day. Okay. Okay. Those are two interesting choices. Anyone else? Tiana? Jerry? D-Ray? You guys want to make a choice? One's a Clint Eastwood directed movie. The other one's a Mel Gibson directed movie. Because why? I need a drink. And in 5, you guys got to give me a 5, 4, 3, 2. Jerry's in the Patriot. 1. My number 2 is Hacksaw Ridge. That's right, Hacksaw Ridge from 2016. This movie is a powerful graphic war film based on a true story about conscientious observer Desmond Doss, who bravely saved lives on the battlefield during World War II without firing a shot. Showcasing Andrew Garfield's strong performance amidst brutal combat scenes. Some critics find the tone shifts between character development and violent action jarring. Consider it mostly as for its impactful portrayal of faith and heroism in the face of extreme adversity, though not for the faint of heart, due to its graphic depictions of war. It's a very good movie. I love it. I mean, that poster, when I first saw that poster, it drew me in. Hacksaw Ridge is fire. Yeah. When I first saw that picture, that poster, I was drawn in. I didn't realize that was Andrew Garfield until the credits rolled. Honestly, when I first saw this movie. It's based on like I said, based on the true story of Desmond Doss, a pacifist who refused to carry a weapon during World War II. So risked his life to save his comrades. Andrew Garfield's compelling performance of Doss' intense and realistic battle sequences directed by Mel Gibson. Yeah, Mel Gibson knows how to make a war movie, doesn't he? So, like I said, it's jarring and everything. Powerful and thought-provoking war drama with a compelling story of faith and courage. But be prepared for intense violence. And Jerry, I agree. I'm bringing this back up again. Andrew Garfield killed it. Yes, he did. He killed this one in here. But no, wait. He couldn't kill it because he was a pacifist. Oh, he nailed it. There we go. Let's put it this way. Okay, your first movie is Stripes. Oh, I almost put comedies on here. I almost put Stripes. I almost put MASH. But Stripes is not it. Nope. No. Stripes. Stripes is good. I almost put. Here's what didn't make my list. I had this down to 15, and I'm like, I need to do 10 of my favorites. Which one of these? So, MASH was taken off. Stripes was taken off. Patriot was taken off because I like that one as well. Um, I did Dirty Dozen. I'm just trying to think of what was. Oh yeah. Saving Private Ryan was on that list. and Braveheart. So those were those ones there. And Match and Stripes were as well. So that was my list. My number one is from 2006. 2006. It brings together the directing chops of one Clint Eastwood. Brings in the powers of the producer himself, Steven Spielberg. And screenwriter. Strips is a beautiful steelbook. Tiago's Full Metal Jacket. Spielberg as a producer. And Yamashita as a screenwriter. If you can't tell from those clues, number one is Letters from Iwo. After depicting the Battle of Iojima and its aftermath from American side with Flags of Our Fathers, Clint Eastwood revisited the events of the perspective of Japanese soldiers with its companion piece, Letters from Iwo Jima. Eastwood unrelentingly depicts the desperation of the Japanese soldiers' last stand, defending their position from tunnels as they ran out of resources and succumbed to disease. But it's the time spent with the soldiers, particularly a private and a general, played respectively by Kazunari Nimoya and Ken Watanabe, that makes the film unforgettable. With the film's end, viewers understand everything that led men to this moment, from those drawn by a sense of honor to those compelled by their inescapable edicts of the Japanese government. Putting human faces on one of the war's pivotal moments, this Japanese language film is one of the most celebrated war movies in recent history. Tiana's like, "Oh, great movie, Ben." Yeah, if you get, it's a great movie. If you guys, it's a Japanese language film directed by Clint Eastwood. If you guys could get away from that, it's a fantastic movie. And like I said, this is Flags for Our Father. This is kind of the companion piece of Flags of Our Father. So if you're looking for a movie with a double film for war movies, watch Flags of Our Father. So followed by this, it's fantastic. Black and white. It's telling you get this side from their perspective of the war, of World War II. You get it from there, and like I said, uh some who are sense of honor and edicts from the Japanese government. So you get to know why these Japanese men were doing this in this movie. And there's from Iojima are stuff from back home, stuff these guys wrote themselves. Very powerful, powerful movie. And deserving some of my number one list of my number one on here. Another great film. Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to throw in a couple surprises in here because I know this one's not one really talked about much. And like when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, this is like I was glued to the screen. I'm like, this is awesome. And then I did research after that. I'm like, why is it so good? I'm like, oh, I knew Clint Eastwood directed it, but then I found out Spielberg did producer, and Yamashita, who's one of the greatest writers in Japanese cinema, wrote this movie. It was a screenwriter for this movie. If it doesn't get better than 3 of the top at their art in 2006, who's to say you can't get any better than that? Usually, most of the time, Japanese and Germans are played for by fools or played as a joke. But this movie actually shows you the realism of that thing. And Hunter goes, "Great list, sir. Thanks, Hunter." And ladies and gentlemen, that closes it for me for tonight. That closes it for me for tonight. And Tiana states, "You'd have some great surprises." Yeah, I wanted this list to be my favorite list, so not just these movies, but I wanted a comprehensive list of my favorite war movies from expansive different things. It's kind of hard when a lot of war movies are based off World War One or World War Two. I understand how big and grand scale that was, but I threw in Civil War in there, World War Two, uh, the Japanese side for that, World War Two with Hacksaw Ridge, Longest Day was about Normandy. World War II. Great Escape was World War II. Dirty Dozen was World War II. Bridge over Kwai was World War II. Blackhawk Down was Mogadishu in 1993. So what is that? Is that Desert Storm? Yeah. Pat Tillman war in Afghanistan and Gettysburg. Yeah. So kind of wanted to go for a wide variety here of war movies. But I just want to say thank you for everyone who joined us live, and thank you for everyone who's going to watch the replay. So thank you everyone for that, and stay tuned here next week when I'm going live on Tuesday. I'm going live on Tuesday next week for what's going on with my live stream. So I will explain to you the future of my live streams here because it's changing, as well as another idea I have for going forward for that stream too, because I have a live stream coming up at the end of this month. That's going to be pretty fun. So I want you guys to be here for that next week, next Tuesday night. And because I like these Wednesday ones, but I'm going back to my Tuesday night lives and going to stay there. So I'll see you guys here next time. Until next time, bye.